When I reach out to you in like our community tabs on YouTube and on Instagram and stuff, and we ask for what you guys would like adulthood or life survival advice on, one of the main things you guys ask about that we get comments on is friendship. Today, I brought you two hilarious gentlemen to discuss friendship with. They run a podcast called the Man of the Year podcast, and they say they are part of the greatest running friendship tradition ever. They have a 20-year tradition running with their friend group. Their entire podcast is exploring friendship, so please check it out and enjoy this hilarious and insightful episode all about friendship with the Man of the Year hosts Karo and Matt Ritter. I had such a great time talking with them, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So check it out. Leave us a rating and a review, and give us a subscribe and a like and all the things, and follow them. Their info will be in the notes. We have on today Karo and Matt Ritter. Hi, guys.
Woo! Yeah. Woo! Man of the Year. Man of the Year. Man of the Year. Man.
Is that what you guys do? Your little...
Yeah, we do a little chant.
I love it. I love it. All right, so look.
Growing up.
Yeah, we could start. We could start some shit.
Yeah.
So look, I wanted to bring you guys on to talk about friendship because we have a lot of listeners, we have a lot of audience members, we have a lot of young adults out there who seem to have a lot of need for friendships, a lot of need for advice on friendships. When we put it out to our community, like, what do you guys want advice on for adulthood? It's maybe the number one thing that gets asked about.
Wow.
Is like, how do I make and keep friendships into adulthood? And you guys are doing it.
We're the guys.
You're the guys.
We're the guys.
The champions of friendship.
You're the champions of friendship.
Came to the right place.
Will you tell us about your greatest friendship tradition ever?
So we have the same 9 friends from 2nd grade.
That's insane.
Yes. I don't want to date ours too much, but Matt and I have been friends since 1986.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
When were you born?
91.
Yeah. And we're from Long Island, New York. And every year on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the 9 of us all gather from wherever we now live in the country. And we have dinner at Peter Luger Steakhouse in Brooklyn. It's a very famous, one of the oldest steakhouses in New York. And we have this raucous Friendsgiving dinner. And we vote on which friend had the best year. That friend wins our gigantic Man of the Year trophy. It's like half a Stanley Cup. You get your name engraved in it, and you keep the trophy for the rest of the year.
How many years have you been doing this?
This is going to be our 20th annual dinner.
20th?
Yeah, this November.
Consistently?
Oh, yeah.
Never missed?
Never missed. Not even, well, during COVID, we ended up having 2 separate dinners, and we Zoomed them in. The 3 West Coast guys got together, and the 6 East Coast people got together, and they actually basically ordered steak Peter Luger style, and we cooked it Peter Luger style. We cooked Peter Luger style, so everybody was eating kind of the same exact thing.
So literally so committed to the tradition that you kept it alive during the
we even kidnapped
pandemic.
one of the waiters, and we made him sit in my friend's yard.
Hold on. Don't admit to crimes on this podcast. That is so impressive. Just to keep any sort of connection to friendships, especially later into adulthood. Like, I have a lot of good friends in my life, but the older I get, the less time we spend together.
Yeah.
Just the harder it is.
That's normal.
Right. Because your lives actually start to space out with all your different responsibilities and schedules and stuff like that. So even though I have great friends in my life, yeah, we're spending less and less time together.
I'll tell you a little secret. Last year, my wife was pregnant. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. Literally was like, I'm not going to go. She's like, no. What are you talking about? I'm like, you're pregnant. It's like, what are we doing here? She's like, that's literally the glue of your entire relationship. She's like, don't even tell anybody who even thought this.
Exactly.
She's like, get on a plane and you're going to go. And I went for 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in that time, he lost his jacket because that's what he always does.
I always lose my jacket.
He loses his jacket.
I've lost so many jackets.
I follow behind him just picking stuff up.
Yeah.
When's the last time either of you won the Man of the Year?
2019 for me.
We're both 2-time winners.
2019 for me.
Yeah, 2015 for me. It's been a bit of a drought.
Sold a movie that
2015.
never got made.
Yeah.
You know it's 2023, right?
Is he due? Is
How
that
many
what we're
trophies do
saying?
you have, buddy?
Are we saying Karo's due?
I'm saying.
Did you ever win a Kid's Choice or anything like that?
Hell yeah, I did.
Oh, shit, you did. I was totally
Yeah,
That
joking.
backfired.
But the caveat is I won a European Kids' Choice Award.
wow.
Never a U.S. one.
Hey, that counts.
For best actor?
They love him in Europe.
Favorite male actor in Italy.
Oh, is this podcast huge in Italy?
Not this podcast, but my show. Favorite male star in Italy 2010 and favorite series in Germany 2009.
Well, that's odd. Germany and in Italy. What is it about you think that appeals to the Italians or the Germans?
I'm Italian and I'm German.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is.
And the show is just
they looked
big.
you up. They were like, oh, 23andMe. He's one of ours.
And
He's
the
one of ours.
He is one of Werkheiser.
He's
one of
He's
ours.
Werkheiser. We have to support him.
Yeah, just our show was big in Europe and in like Latin America and South America. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but you never won in South America.
Nope.
Not
I don't
with
think
those
they
blue
had.
eyes.
I don't think they
Now
had
with
a
that-
Kids'
now with
Choice
that
Award down
complexion
there.
and blue
Are you
eyes.
kidding me? They would for sure give me a
Oh, they
blimp
would,
down
yeah.
there. They love the blue eyes
Oh, they
down
love it
there.
down there.
It's a novelty. But yes, sir, I have 2 blimps. Okay, but they also were from over 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
So
Do you
is
still
Karo's
have them?
choice.
Do you
So
have
is
the
Karo's
trophies?
man of
yeah,
the
they're
year.
like bookends in my
Okay.
on my bookshelf.
Wow, book. That's when you know when you have like your Emmy and your
Oh
Oscars.
yeah, the bookends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
we do have bookends. We do have each have one twice, so we do have bookends.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time.
You want to be on this side of the trophy, the one you can see. You know?
Exactly. You're due for a big year there, Karo.
It's not my year. It's not my year.
Okay.
Whose year is it? We don't know. You never know.
Matt's angling for it because he had a kid, which he mentioned 30 seconds into the podcast. New
Somebody
record.
else had a kid too, but
New
I also
record.
shot myself in the face. So
in the foot or the face.
face.
Face is more dramatic.
Face
Yeah.
is more
Foot
dramatic.
is the actual
Face is
term.
big.
that people
Exactly.
use.
That's
Yes.
the term.
Yeah.
10 years ago, the first time I won it, I had sold my first television show. Just crappy show. This is not a humble brag.
Okay.
It lasted 3 episodes.
Congratulations.
My friend
What
was
was
having.
it?
It was a reality show about divorce.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It doesn't even warrant a congrats.
Wow, that sounds
It was on
awful.
MSNBC. It's like, I don't know.
MSNBC's Thursday night unscripted block.
Yeah.
It was called, what's the prison
It was
show
after
called?
the prison show. It was after
But what was that called?
Lockdown.
It was like
after
lockdown. Then it was like Lockdown Jamaica.
and then
Lockdown
divorce.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
It was called
Yeah.
Chained to My Ex. So
Yeah.
the titles worked. The titles worked. The
Yeah.
titles worked. They actually, I don't even think they knew what the show was. They were just looking for some more prison content.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Chained to My Ex, buy that, buy that. And then it was like divorced couples being sad. They're like, sell that, sell that.
Oh my God.
So that year, I got up. Everybody kind of talks about their year, and I just was like, "Listen, guys, it's great that Brian, our friend, is having a baby, but let's be honest, anybody can have a kid. You know how hard it is to sell a TV show." That's what I said. So I said anybody can have a kid. So now I
This
know that
year.
it's going to come up when everybody's like, "Oh, Matt had a kid." I know Brian or somebody's going to get up and be like, "Did I recall you saying something about how unimportant and unimpressive it was to have a child?" So maybe not my year.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
How did the tradition start? What was the first one?
So it's pretty organic. It started as a Friendsgiving dinner.
Yeah, sure.
Which, by the way, if, talking to our listeners, one of our things is we're trying to make Friendsgiving a national holiday.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Right? Let's do it.
Yeah, we need the friend time as much as we need the family time.
Absolutely. And just
The,
for
the Tuesday.
well, we
before
have a
Thanksgiving.
we have a
That's what
weird day. Usually the weekend.
Some
before.
people think it's Wednesday. When do you think Friendsgiving should be? Tuesday, Wednesday, or the Saturday before? Those are your choices.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are those my only
most
fucking
people
choices?
do it the weekend before.
'Cause most
I would
people
say
are
the
home for
weekend before.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
so
I
you
would
think
say
it's
the
a week.
weekend before, or even the Saturday after.
No,
No,
no.
can't be after. Can't be after.
The fuck? I'm saying.
We're the champions of friendship. I've never heard that before.
I know.
pass.
We did a poll and we actually solicited opinions, and everybody was like, "It has to be." That was the main thing.
Oh, that
Everybody
it
was
has to
It's like
be
having your
before.
bachelor party after the wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's not.
Great analogy.
No, it's not.
Okay,
Friendsgiving.
moving on. Anyway,
It's not a great analogy, but it was.
so we used to have this Friendsgiving dinner the Tuesday before Thanksgiving because that's when everyone could get together. And we would sort of jokingly say like, wow, Matt had a great year. This is Matt's year. And I'm the historian of the group. That's my role among many. And I would just jot down in my calendar who won. And again, we weren't even voting. It was kind of a jokey thing. And after a few years, we're like, maybe we should codify this, and we got a gigantic trophy. And then it
Our
just took
rich
off from there.
friend spent
Yes.
way too much money on a trophy. 'Cause,
Love a rich friend
when
for
he
that.
said oh guys, I got a trophy this year, I was expecting a little
Yeah, like a little soccer trophy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane, which subsequently it's been cracked a few times. It's like the Stanley Cup.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's been
it
around.
actually
the
has
trophy,
history.
The trophy's been around.
Yeah. So this was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the first trophy.
The
the first
trophy
friends
started a
ceremony.
few years after the
Yeah,
first
cool.
dinner. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. That's so incredible. So what does it take? I don't have friends from second grade. What do you think it takes to keep friends this long? Like, what is it that, how are you able to do it?
Well, I mean, we talk about a lot of things on the podcast, but one of the core things that we talk about is showing up, right? And so we have this tradition now. We like the idea of tradition because it anchors that friendship. It goes,
It
hey,
does.
this is a flag in the sand, a calendar.
Yep.
We no matter what,
A
we know
cycle
where we're
every
going to be
year.
in 50 years. We know we're going to be in touch because we have this thing to look forward to. And the more frequent it is, obviously, the more frequent you're going to communicate about it, right? But at least we know every year we have this thing, and our friend makes a video in the months leading up to it about the year in review. So it's like an ongoing year, you know, halfway through the year, everybody's like, oh, where are we in this thing?
Yeah.
But I think in general, if you want to have long-term friendships, just show up for your friends. And that doesn't necessarily always mean physically, right? But
Yeah.
like the people who show up for your birthdays or things that matter, or when you have a loss, like, you know, people remember that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the number one.
Yeah, I think what the trophy represents is a ritual.
Yeah.
That is what we were trying to encourage our listeners to do, start a ritual. Doesn't have to be a trophy, but like every third Thursday of a month, we play mini golf, you know,
Yeah.
we do a book club. Because what happens is on the calendar, it's recurring.
Yep.
It takes all the guesswork. Oh, I can't, I've got to do this. There's no
No.
excuse.
Yep.
Now you have to commit to it.
Yep.
So rituals and traditions are an important part.
Yeah.
The other thing is for a long-term friendship, it does take work. It does take checking in. You know, relationships require watering. So we talk about the check-in. Like people are like, for some reason people are hesitant about the check-in, like for no reason. You know, just what's going on, how
Sure.
are you,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hey, how are you? Yeah.
One of our little hacks is, you know, like on Instagram or even Facebook, I'm sure your listeners aren't on that anymore. It'll show you like a little pop-up of on this day 10 years ago.
Yeah. The memories.
We say take that picture, send it to everybody in the picture.
Yeah.
Just to get the group thread going.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
A couple of other things, like, you know, just making cemented plans. We like to say, instead of saying we should, say we are. Just immediately commit.
Yeah.
You know, if you like a friend and you're trying to make a future plan, when you leave that party and you go, hey, we should hang out, like, you're never going to see that person.
Yep.
Right? Like,
Yep.
unless you really want to. And if you want to, just commit to it right
Yep.
there. Say, we're doing this. And the other thing about that check-in, it's like, yeah, it feels a little weird for whatever reason, you know? Like, it does feel a little uncomfortable. That's also why we like the maybe group thread.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just feels easier
Yeah.
when there's 4 of your buddies to just check in than
Sure.
for
How's
whatever
everyone
it is,
doing?
it's just
Whoever
harder.
responds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we also, another hack is send good news to the group thread. So for instance, a buddy of ours just got a new job. Instead of texting him directly, I texted our Man of the Year group. I said, hey man, congrats on the new gig. And then everyone is aware, chimes in. It's a way of disseminating the information about the friend group.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to circle back on that tip of like the we should versus we are. For anyone out there who's like making new friends, don't do this thing where after you're done hanging out, like say you're at a party and you're hanging out and you really like someone, don't try and schedule the next hangout unless you're actually scheduling it. Like that's such good advice. Like that's just bullshit energy. Either end that engagement clean by saying, I had a great time.
Yep.
Like, see ya. This was great. Get a number. But don't do that. We should hang out. I hate that shit.
That came up as one of our red flags. We solicited from our audience.
Yeah.
And what you just said came up as a big friend red flag. The person that does that,
They never follow
they
up.
never follow up. That turned into, it's fun. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up kind of coming up with this phrase. Because that person that does that, it's always like, why do you always do that? You don't have
do
to.
it. You
Don't
could
say
just
that.
you could just say bye.
Right. You could just say bye.
Like I think a lot of people feel this instinct of like, oh, I like this person. I had such a great time. They feel the instinct. I have to say
Right.
like, we should hang out. Like, no,
then
just
next
say bye
time
to
you're
me.
thinking about them and you want to make plans, like I did this with a new friend and the Knicks were in town. I actually went ahead. This is another little tip. I just went ahead and bought 2 tickets. And I said, I have an extra ticket to the Knicks game. I was thinking about you. You should come with me. And he did.
Because that is one of our big tips, which is be the friend.
Yeah.
You can't always wait for someone else to be your friend. Sometimes you have to be the friend.
Yeah.
Especially men. I do feel like women are better at this.
Mm.
I mean, they've sort of, we also, I want to back up a little bit. Sort of the reason why we think more men are struggling with this is sort of the gender norm of male success And contentment was like, hey, just get a good job, make a lot of money, find a partner, buy a house, and therefore you will be successful / content.
Sure.
It was never included in there like, oh, you should have a healthy friendship circle. But women, I
Sure.
think maybe even innately knew, like, we need our friends, right? And now
Yeah.
men are discovering, holy shit, I need my friends.
For sure.
You know?
I need my friendships.
Yeah.
I need my male friendships and female friendships
Yeah.
in my life. I need my friendships.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
It's for your health. Now all of a sudden, the Surgeon General says it and people are listening, right? We're like, we've been preaching this for a long time, and it's like,
Fuck the Surgeon General
Yeah.
fucking getting on our thing. That's our thing, bro.
I like to say the Surgeon General obviously was listening to our podcast, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I should talk about this.
Just kidding. Want you on the
Yeah,
podcast,
we do
sir?
want him on. Yeah, but it's all these studies that are
Or ma'am.
Harvard studies.
I came off a little like Hitler-y.
Yeah,
I meant,
yeah, no, don't, no,
was
yeah,
a
no
salute.
weird salutes.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
do any weird
No
salutes
weird
on this
salutes.
podcast, okay, Karo?
Yeah. I mean, they love him in Germany, so maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's for you. That's for you.
Fuck, guys.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Modern Germany.
modern,
Thank you.
modern.
Can we get some more steampunk sounds while we're recording? That's
was
actually
cool.
like
That was
helping
cool.
me.
Yeah. This building
All of a sudden it just
is growing.
Yeah.
No, but I was going to say, but it is a health issue. It's a health crisis.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
your listeners are saying this, and that's scary to me. You know, when I hear that a lot of your
Yeah.
listeners are like, I'm lonely, I'm having issues with friends. I want to know how we are in a real loneliness epidemic.
Yeah. I think we are.
15% of men have no close friends.
That's too many to have no close
Yeah.
friends. It's okay if your circle's small,
Yeah.
but you need a few people
By the way,
that you can count on.
I don't actually think they all don't have friends.
Right.
I think that they
Don't have intimacy.
Yeah, they haven't,
connection.
or they had close friends and they let them fall by the wayside. They can still have them. They just aren't using any of the, they don't have the tools, or they're not actually doing anything to foster that with people that are potentially are their friends, or people that think they're their friends, and you know, some sort of miscommunication. Like we always talk about how your friends aren't mind readers. Some falling out could have happened because you guys never even discussed it. Somebody was mad at you, you didn't even know. You were mad at them, they didn't know.
So true. Yeah, sometimes in friendships you got to have that uncomfortable conversation. You got to get back to like neutral.
Totally.
Sometimes it takes a little work to like, oh, let's get ourselves flat again because some things have built up and it's
Yeah.
gotten a little messy.
Yeah.
That's
That's why we just like talk shit every day.
Yes.
It can't get messy between us because it's always it's always out there.
No. I know what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
That shit is real. I don't know if it's the same in female friendships. I know in male friendships, there's a version of it that's maybe toxic and it's like too much talking shit and ragging on each
Yeah.
other. But there's a version of this that is so correct, which is like me and my friends too. We shit on each other all the time in a playful way. And what that does is keep the space open. It
Yeah.
keeps it like, hey, whatever you want to say, it's all here. And you're going to have to kind of like go through the minefield to like say it, you know?
Matt recently crossed the line though. The line for us is really high because we're both comedians. We know each other for 35 years, but I was working on something for the podcast. I was doing like a deck like outside of our outside of my expertise, trying to do like a PowerPoint, and he just writes, "This is objectively shitty." I'm like, I work really hard on this. That fucking sucks. But it was fine. He apologized.
Now it's like our catchphrase, objective. Now we joke in text,
Objectively
like,
shitty.
Objectively.
You could have been like, "Oh, I've seen better."
We
No,
got to
this
get
is
t-shirts. Objectively.
Ask 100 people in the street. 99 would say this sucks.
I realize
Objectively shitty.
saying something's objectively shitty is one of the cruelest things.
Yeah.
You didn't really
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
Try it on somebody just to see how they react.
Especially something they've worked hard
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
want a little
Yeah.
validation for.
Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking about with friendship is, for me, I was thinking like, because I do have a lot of great friends in my life, and I was kind of thinking before having you guys on, I'm like, what is it that draws me to my friendships, and like, what is it that keeps us together? And one thing I kind of realized was, I think it's about having a set of shared values, I guess is it, and different friend groups value different things. I know for a lot of people, there's this word loyalty, and they like love like loyalty. That for me is like an irrelevant term. Like for me, I want friends who are loyal to like themselves and our shared values of life. Like I don't need them loyal to me. I need them loyal to being good people. You know, I need them loyal to like what I think is important in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honesty, humor, support, love, like whatever that is. But I have heard this growing up. Like there's a lot of people like, fucking, you're not loyal. Like, and that word has no relevance for me in friendship.
It's funny. that you say that because I think and we haven't really covered that. I think it's because we just have a very simple vocabulary for these things.
Yeah.
Right. And also that old school, like, this guy backed me up. We get in a fight. He's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
my back. You know, I agree with you. Like, loyalty can also be like a flaw too,
Yeah.
for your own
Yes.
life, for your own
Yes.
health.
You could be being quote unquote loyal to someone, but you're like giving up your own
Totally. Drive off
values.
a cliff
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah. You think
Tell me.
loyalty is numero uno?
I mean, I think we're also, I didn't say numero uno, but I mean, I to your point, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we describe things different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Tell me.
you know, you don't want one of your buddies, you know, around town, like talking shit about you,
That's true.
you know, sleeping with your girlfriend,
Yes.
True.
you know, like, so that's loyalty.
Yes.
I guess so. But that's like innate. That's like innate. It like goes unspoken.
I mean,
to
you're
me.
talking about unquestioned loyalty.
Fealty.
Yeah.
Fealty, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the way I've heard it. Maybe it's like
Kiss the
fealty.
ring
It
and
gets
you will
used
be
by like
friends.
narcissists. I
So
feel
I
like is
agree.
like you're not being fucking
I know.
loyal, man. It's
Yeah.
like what,
Yeah.
dude?
I mean, like the Try Guys, they weren't, you know, there was not a lot of loyalty there,
Right.
right?
I don't really know the.
yeah, I don't know that story.
What do you mean? You know who the Try Guys are?
Yeah.
No, maybe vaguely.
No, come on. Come on.
What's
Try
the
Guys.
scandal?
No, but
were
what's
you-
the loyalty?
Well, they're YouTubers.
Okay,
TRY, they try stuff.
got it.
They're huge. I actually
Karo wrote their
I co-wrote
best-selling
their
book.
book.
Oh,
Number one best.
Number one New York Times bestseller.
Oh, excuse me.
But then one
Man
of
of the, was that 2015?
you know, I didn't even win
No,
for that.
that was 20.
Because someone I had a second kid. Like, fuck you. Like, anyone could have two kids.
Yeah,
like,
he ghost wrote a big book.
Yeah. But your listeners will know the Try Guys. But one of the Try Guys fucked one of the employees of the Try Guy company.
Okay.
Cheated on his wife with one of the employees. It was a huge. It broke Twitter. They were parodied on SNL.
Okay.
But they threw him out of the group.
So you're saying they were being disloyal to him?
I'm just saying they didn't have that unquestioned loyalty.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they're like, you cheated on your wife, so now I'm not friends with you anymore. That's a little. What do you think about that?
Are
mean,
you
I
saying
don't
they
really-
should have stuck by him?
I'm just saying, chapter 4
Maybe.
doesn't
No,
just
maybe.
cut
I don't-
chapter 4
I
out
don't
of the
know- I
book.
don't know enough about.
You know?
I don't know enough about these guys.
I know. I don't know enough to have an opinion.
I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Like-
and no, you're right. Like no, but that goes unsaid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, my friend shouldn't be hitting on my girlfriend.
right.
And like, but that's falls under like integrity for me, not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
loyalty.
Yes.
Like
But
loyal, be loyal.
We talk about this too. Like, you know, everybody invests so much. Sometimes the flip side is like sometimes you want to throw so much into one friend and make them everything you want them to be, and maybe they're not that. And if you let go of trying to make them something that they're not, you can appreciate them more for what they are.
Yes. Yes. That goes for any relationship.
Yeah.
That goes for a partner too.
Yeah.
Is like, man, it's so easy for us to see someone love who they are now, but really kind of fall in love with their potential
Yeah.
or what we think
Yeah.
they could be.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to like change them rather than just like, who are they?
Yeah. Because I just also, I think just sometimes, you know, we talk about this as you get older, you know, you can have your core friends, but you can also just have casual friends and try not to make the mistake of trying to convert them if they're not meant to be, right? Like if your concert buddy isn't trustworthy, don't be like, they're fucking disloyal. It's like, why can't they
No.
just be your concert friend? And that's that. You're an adult. You have limited time and that's what you want. You don't have anybody else to go to.
I
concert
love
with.
that. Yeah, I talk about this sometimes. Is you can't shortcut a close friendship. It really does take time. It takes years. You could love someone. You could know immediately, like, oh, I fuck with this person. Like, I love them. But it doesn't matter. That friendship will not form until you've seen each other over time and you've gone through different phases of life and you're still connected. That's when you really go like, oh, no. I know this person and I know we're friends. And I think a lot of young people especially, they meet someone they like, they go, oh my God, that's like, they're the best. They try and hang out as much as they can, talk as much as they can, try and make them their best friend immediately because they had like a little quick connection. And it's like, oh, no, this is everything. And then something goes wrong and then it all falls apart really quickly because you're trying to put so much on it. It's like, whoa, dude, you met someone you liked? Great. Check in with them over time. Slow it the fuck down. Do things that you like together and stop putting so much pressure on it to be like your best friend, you know?
Matt's been slow playing me since '86.
And I'm still ranked as his second or third best friend.
Wow, you haven't even slid into best friend?
No, we talked about this on the pod recently.
I love this.
Yeah.
Well, can we get your take? What do you think about the term best friend? Do you have a best friend?
No.
So I also said no to that too. I said at this age, it feels like I don't want to. Once somebody reaches a certain threshold, they're just one of my closest friends.
Yes.
And that's it.
Agreed.
You know, but
there's
Karo
a
ranks us.
threshold
Karo
and many
ranks
people
us.
are in it.
He ranks
You
us.
actually have a ranking?
He's my second best friend.
He's right. And it wounds me to my core.
It's objectively shitty of me, but he's my second best friend.
You have a ranking. Who's number one?
My buddy Brian.
Sorry, Matt. Second fiddle,
It's
bud.
okay. And then it made me go, oh, well, actually, maybe I should elevate this other person.
Exactly. To spite him.
Yeah.
By the way, since then, and I'm half joking.
I mean, I'm hurt.
I'm not joking. I actually have
I
feelings.
have a mortal wound.
I do think I've had a greater appreciation for you since that. Since that
Bullshit.
moment. I'm trying to be, bring it back. No, because like we talked about sort of what are the trademarks of a best friend.
Yeah.
It's like the first person you call, like the person who, accepts you for who you are, the person who knows where all the bodies are buried. And I'm like, shit, I'm describing Matt.
Yeah, he realized he was in love with me. It's like, oh my God, it's Matt.
It's been Matt the whole time.
Oh my God, it's the best rom-com. It's the best rom-com I've ever seen. You've been gaslighting yourself, Karo.
Wouldn't be the first time.
But no, I forget where this was, what we were just talking about that was really important. Oh, we were just talking about like, I think what you just said is so important for your listeners, especially when you're younger. You do want to try to make somebody your instant friend, because the problem with that is a lot of times you don't even really know what you're looking for in a best friend. You don't even have your what you're talking about, your value system of it down.
Yeah.
So you got to have that.
Yeah. What do I value in friendship?
Changes over time too.
Exactly. Especially as we grow, like at a certain time in your life, like in college, your values for friendship are going to be very different than in your 30s.
Did you go to college?
Nope.
Just School of Hard Knocks.
The School of Hard Knocks and the School of Child Acting.
So when you were taking, exams and shit in the trailer, like, did you learn anything, or you're just like,
oh no, I'm a fucking
do we
idiot.
want to check his math right now?
Yeah,
have they ever done like, let's do like on this pod? Have you ever done any sort of like quizzing?
Excuse me?
Should we do like an
algebra exam?
like an algebra.
Like a
Should we do
fifth
like
grade algebra?
Excuse me? On my podcast?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever quizzed me school questions?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me?
Listen.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, listen, you need friends that, challenge you. We're not going to sit here and be like,
I was a straight A student, but it's been many years since I've been in school.
student, but the school rolled away when the season was over.
That's actually true. That's actually true. It was an online school and it was bullshit.
Nickelodeon was like to the teacher, "We will break your legs if he gets less than a B+."
You pass him. You fucking pass him.
Yeah, it was like college football. Yeah, we need him.
There were boosters sticking money in the teacher's pocket.
Yeah, I got my GED at 16. I don't know anything.
Yeah. Did you really get a GED?
Yeah.
What is the GED?
The GED just means before I turn 8. Well, the GED is like a test you take, like a proficiency exam that says it's instead of like your high school diploma.
You know what Chris Rock calls a GED? A good enough diploma.
That's what it is. It's good enough. It means while I'm 16, I can now work as an 18-year-old. Like there's child
so it's
labor
like a
laws.
labor.
It was literally about labor stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Matt's a former lawyer.
Yes.
Recovering lawyer.
Yeah.
You're a recovering lawyer.
Yeah.
You were addicted to it for a while?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was disbarred.
No. Voluntary.
Should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know how they didn't get me.
So you were a lawyer and then a bad reality TV seller.
And then comedy and now the podcast.
Yeah, now Black the screenwriter, headlining comedian.
Now the number one friendship advice giver.
That's right.
In the world. Yeah.
That's right.
But you know what I was thinking? Don't feel bad. College, you learn nothing. You know nothing less than us.
Oh yeah.
We know nothing.
I don't. I've visited college.
was
I mean,
fun.
you've met college people. They're dumb too.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And
Nobody
like
knows anything.
I can drink outside of college. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like that's
exactly.
most of what I saw.
Spoken like a kid who never went to
Oh
college.
yeah, he missed
Loser.
He never played
College
beer pong.
is
He never
very
played
fun.
beer pong.
College is
Oh
very
yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Everyone's always talking about student debt, but it's fucking fun, bro. racking that debt up.
It's fun. You should go back to college.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Rodney
gonna do that.
Dangerfield.
It'd
back
be
to school.
pretty weird for me to be in college.
I like
32
this
is a
idea.
little
I
too
like
old.
this
32,
idea.
former child star.
Yeah, I think this is a movie.
No, it's weird.
I think this is a movie.
I've been trying to get Matt to
Pitch it,
to go
Matt.
to
Yeah.
for us to go to grad school at Arizona State. That's just the women.
He said
Yeah.
this. He called me up the other day. He's like, dude, I have kind of a crazy idea. Like, we should go to grad school at ASU. And I go, I'll run it by my wife.
Yeah. Don't think she's gonna be down.
Yeah.
I'll check in with my 3-month-old son.
Exactly.
Where's Daddy?
Drink.
Where's
He's got a
Daddy?
3-month-old son, everybody.
He's at the pool. He's at the
Jesus.
pool at ASU.
Who's your son's godfather?
Ooh, great question.
You know, this is really funny.
Not
Is it?
Karo, huh?
Is it funny?
No. It's funny because we realized, my wife and I, when we were trying to figure this out, because Jews don't really technically do godfathers,
Okay.
but you do have to have somebody like in the will or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it
And
is.
so while we were trying to figure this out, we realized I have a brother and sister, and she has a sister, and we realized we were none of their, emergency contact
Yeah.
godparents.
Yeah.
So we're
Who
like,
takes
oh
the kids
shit.
if we
Yeah, we're
die?
like, wait, nobody thought of us
Yeah.
enough to be the godparents. So now we're kind of on strike for making any of them the godparents. We're like, unless you change your will
Wow.
to make us the godparents, we're not making you the godparents.
Wow.
Yeah, so now we have nobody, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, you need to entrust someone. You
Who
need to
could
get
it be?
someone's word.
Yeah, yeah.
Who could it?
Your
well,
second best friend?
It's
be my
not you,
second-
bud.
yeah, could it be my
I
second
shot
best-
myself in the
Yeah.
face, as he would say.
It's
I shot myself in the face.
in the face.
Yeah.
Not the term.
Yeah, so nobody.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your son's just fucking dangling in
yeah,
the wind.
he's dangling until either of our siblings come to their senses.
You know what you do? The next like big celebrity you work with, because you hear like blah blah blah. Oh, like
make them like the
Yeah.
god. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's good.
Jason
That's
Bateman is my godfather.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
like,
that's
yes,
good.
Yeah.
yes. Jason
Just do it in a
Bateman.
general meeting.
It's Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Can you just anoint them like on somebody else's pod?
Yeah, for
Great.
sure.
It's Jason Bateman.
Yeah, it should especially be a celebrity like you kind of like just meet.
Yes.
Be like,
just
you be
met.
the yeah,
the
like
first
just
meeting.
meet them
First-
upon first meeting.
Yeah, you were talking about how you want to be best friends with
That.
somebody right away. I want somebody to be my godparent right away.
I think that's the analogy we just discovered is
Yeah.
when you're trying to make new friendships, don't make your new friend the godfather of your children upon first meeting
Right.
them.
There we go.
You
Couldn't
know?
have said it better.
That's
Did
the
I tell you
analogy.
that I had this date recently, and at the end, jokingly, the girl's like, "Love you."
oh.
It was pretty funny.
Oh,
It was-
that's
it
good.
was pretty funny.
That is good.
That's funny.
That is good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
What'd you say? Thank
I
you.
was kind of like
Thank you.
taken aback. Yeah, yeah. I think I
Thank
said
you.
"love you" too. I don't know.
You did? No, you know what you said. You know what you said.
I
What'd you
said,
say?
did I say thank you?
No, did you say love you back?
I don't know. She ended up being a little cuckoo, so like, it
So
didn't-
maybe it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
It turns out
Maybe it wasn't
a joke.
joking.
That's a
Maybe she
good way
wasn't
for a
joking.
psychotic
She was like,
girl.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
joking. Isn't that
Yeah.
so funny?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
seriously. Give me a piece of your hair.
Yeah,
No, seriously, move in with me.
yeah.
Here's a vial of my blood. I love you. I love you.
Joking. Isn't this so funny?
Yeah.
Bring this vial back on our second date.
So there's no more dates with her.
No.
Okay. Love you.
Wow.
Love you.
That's called unrequited love.
Yeah.
I do think there's some like overlap. There's some overlap in lessons of friendship and lessons of love.
What did you say? You had that phrase about it was everything but the.
Huh?
Right? You were like,
Everything but the butt.
yeah, everything but the. Yeah, exactly. Friend dates are
Right.
exactly that. It's everything but
Right. The way
yeah.
you build
Yeah.
intimacy, trust, connection in a friendship, like there's a lot of overlap in the same way people rush friendships, I think, especially young people, rush relationships. It's like you want to jump ahead to we're each other's person and you try and do that in a fucking month. And it's like, no, dude, you can't shortcut time.
We also just talk about the new friend making part of the pod, which is that you're not going out to make new friends. Like, just go out and be normal. Like, if you go out with that mentality, like you're a maniac.
You're weird.
You're
Yeah.
a maniac.
Yeah. If you're like, hi, want to be my friend?
Want to be my friend? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, we're talking about the parallel between dating and
Friendship.
romantic relationship. I'm sorry, dating and
Yeah.
friendship. Yes. It is very similar because when Matt met this buddy that he referenced earlier, who was like a Knicks fan, I
Yeah.
was with him, and I saw Matt immediately go in, and they hit it off, and I realized like this guy, like he just was not my type.
Yeah, we got into a
Like,
whole episode about types too.
Like not in a bad way. Like he was a very kind of like, hey, like he was very, very slow. And
He's laid back.
Laid back. And I have no fucking patience.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're a
get
little
it
tightly
out,
wound.
get it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Matt is too, but he's better at, he accepts that. I was like, it's not my type. Like not like, you know, like he exchanged numbers with Matt and I was like, it's okay. Like he cock blocked me a little bit, but it was like, okay. 'Cause I think you should think about that when you're making friends too.
Friend
Like, is this
types.
person
Type.
my type? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't need any, I don't like anyone too slow or too low.
Yeah.
I don't like anyone too big and too loud because that's me.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
the Goldilocks of
Yeah,
friends.
they can't overshadow
yeah,
you.
no, I need to be. That's
The
why
guy.
it's tough being with Matt for the past 6 months in this pod because he's.
That's why you're
know.
fucking number 2, bud.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why you
well,
can't
listen,
slide into that number
yeah.
1
Like, we
call
spot.
him
You don't
the
support
deuce.
him enough.
Yeah.
The irony is we know that this podcast about friendship is going to end ours.
Oh, absolutely. We just discovered
There's no
today.
other way.
Yeah.
There's no
other way.
There's no way.
There's no
It's
other
the
way.
only outcome.
It's the only
We just
outcome.
talked today that we're both in therapy separately, just like
Yeah.
trying to work out our shit.
yeah. My fucking co-host.
Yeah.
But he refused to go to the same therapist.
Yeah.
My wife and I actually have therapists that are friends, so we have been joking about
that's
it on
weird.
the pod. So like my therapist will know things that she could only know if she was talking to my wife's therapist.
They're not supposed to talk.
yeah, like,
you know?
so how was Sundance? I'm like, how did you? I never told you I was going to Sundance.
They're not supposed to
Yeah,
talk.
no,
man.
yeah, but of course they talk. It's like, come on, do you really believe in the ethics of just they're just people, you know?
You know what
like,
they're-
I
you
know.
they're not loyal.
Yeah.
They're
not loyal.
But Drew,
Yeah.
Drew, Devon doesn't give a shit. I don't want to call you Drew. Devon doesn't give a shit about that. He'd be
Yeah.
fine with that. I have a question. Can we ask our respective therapists, have they ever had sessions with friends?
with their own friends.
No.
Oh, you mean with friends?
Couples
that's good.
therapy for friends.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of couples therapy.
you're
I've
saying we
never
need
heard
that?
of friends.
Maybe.
We might need that.
But why would for me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't need anything. Like, how I've built my friendships is like, my friendships don't need therapy. That's my friendships for me are the part of my life that aren't complicated.
Right.
If they get complicated, I'm cutting them out because my life is complicated.
Well, that's what we did a whole episode about when and how and if you should just cut
I
somebody
think you
out.
cut too early, bro.
I don't.
Podcast over. Anyway.
I don't. I have incredible friendships,
Yeah.
and I've learned to like over the years. Now I know more of my type, more of not my type. I can recognize it quickly.
Yeah.
Or if relationships get too,
Yeah.
if there's too much neediness in it, like I'm sorry, man.
We call that a friendship
Friendship
vampires.
Exactly, and I remove them from my
Yeah.
life.
The other one is when you find yourself apologizing too much. We say like it is good to be the bigger man sometimes, but like if you're just always like constantly
There better be a
somehow-
reason
Yeah.
for saying. I love saying sorry to my
Yeah.
friend if I really
Yeah.
did something.
Yeah.
But how many friendships are like, I'm so sorry. I like
Yeah.
you
It's
didn't
not
even do
healthy.
anything.
Me and
No,
you
it's
are always
not.
apologizing though.
well, we're crossing lines on each other on the pod.
I'm just talking about not even to each other.
Oh,
just
to other people, huh?
Yeah, because we're the community. We're brash. We're making jokes. We try to find the.
You're testing the
We
boundaries.
try, I find the
Feeling
tender
that,
little soft
that was a
spot.
little too hot.
Too
Ooh,
hot. Too hot. Yeah.
That one burns. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think like I can't speak to like close female friendships because I think there are sort of like different values. There's some overlap, of course, but like male friendships kind of have particular dynamics. Like we talked about, like the shitting on each other
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
part of male friendships. And I've seen some friends where I'm like, oh, you guys are shitting on each other in like a bad way. Like there's actually no safety here.
Yeah.
And everyone's unsafe. Good friendships, you're shitting on each other, but it's all love.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's very true.
and-
And it's like, got to distinguish between those.
Yes, you got to distinguish. And then one thing in male friendships that I think is super important, and it's just a helpful thing that is part of male friendships, is something I call like the third space or like the third thing, which is like,
Oh wait, didn't we talk about this at the party?
I think we did.
He independently came up with the same thing that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came up with
I
the
wanna
first
hear
thing.
his-
Okay,
his-
sorry.
You didn't.
version.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you did in the 80s. But
Oh, shots.
Wait, am I Newton and he's the other guy? You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah,
Two
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
who-
oh, who went to school?
they
Who is
both-
it?
I was gonna say.
No, I'm posing it to you.
Leibniz.
Yeah.
Leibniz.
Yeah. Nobody knows who he
Leibniz?
is.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. Newton and Leibniz discovered algebra at the same time, or
Yeah,
calculus.
allegedly.
Leibniz?
Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah. He's a German. Come on, Jesus Christ.
Leibniz? I've never heard Leibniz in my
Exactly.
look it up.
Because you have a
Somebody's
fifth
gotta
grade
look this up.
education, bruh.
Leibniz. No one's heard Leibniz.
Yes.
Leibniz?
Google it. Will you please Google?
College grads over
Yeah.
here.
Please. Thank you.
Nah.
Wow, that was quick.
Wow.
Now, But okay, the third
research.
the third
Yeah.
space
better
is-
than our forget it.
Yeah, better than
Our producer doesn't know how to Google.
Wow. I hope
Yeah,
I hope
great
producer
Googler.
Theo isn't watching
Yeah.
this.
Oh, we say it to his face. You always make fun of
Goodness.
someone that you say to
Yeah.
their face.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't make fun of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, say it to them.
Yeah, just
but
don't-
okay, but the third space. All right, especially in male friendships, maybe in female friendships, I don't know. The third space is super important as you're building a friendship. Is you do want to have the capacity with your male friends to be able to be intimate, to connect with about each other's lives, to find out what's going on, but also not all the time. And that's where the third space comes into play. So like sports is the third space. We get to connect next to each other about this third thing. And then we can kind of feel each other out. We can see what our likes, dislikes, what our vibe is, but without like actually negotiating it with each other. It's the third thing. It's sports. It's whatever.
So
But that's the main
Our
male
version
one.
of the third thing is actually slightly different, which is more of a tip for when you meet a new person
Uh-huh.
and you're trying to figure out what to talk about.
Yes.
So me and you are at a bar. I just randomly bump into you or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I like your shirt, which is about you.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, I'm Aaron, which is about me.
Yeah.
You'd be like, have you seen this bartender? Like, she's so slow.
Yes.
Third thing.
Yes.
Slow, you know,
Yes.
fast. I don't know. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing to say to a bartender?
That's a very you thing to say.
I hate dude, I was just at this wedding, and you know when the wedding ends and everyone goes to the bar and it's just like backed
Chaos.
up?
Yes.
I was like having a fucking panic attack. I was like, how do you not plan for
Pour
this?
the fucking
Yeah,
drink.
no,
Yeah.
but you have to go to the. There's always a second bar that's empty.
No, single
Yes.
bar.
There's
Gotta
always a
find
second
one
bar.
bar.
Find the
They had a
one in the
bottleneck.
back.
No, because people are just like, I have to go to the one right here.
No, there was
It's
only
like,
one
there's an
bar.
empty
But
one.
here's what you do, okay? Let me just solve for all you young people out
Yeah.
there. Okay, one of the bartenders is doing ready-made beers and whatever.
take one of those.
And then the other one is mixed drinks if
Yeah.
you want a fancy.
Don't go get a
Mojitos.
cocktail when there's
Yeah.
a big
Don't
line.
get a mojito when there's
No,
a
not
big
when
line.
there's a big line.
they had shit you would love. Signature cocktails are based on the wedding. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
the Jordan. It's like this thing that he went on his fucking
Yeah, I would appreciate
first
that.
date,
Yes, yes,
and
I
then
would
like a
appreciate
sprinkle
that. I
of
would.
garbage and whatever.
Yeah, but it
you know?
takes them fucking 10 minutes to make
I'm like,
it.
pre-make this shit, bitch.
yeah.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
put some
Put it in
jungle
a jar.
juice in
Yeah.
a jar,
Put it in a
man.
jar.
Give
We
me
can't
a
tell the
fucking
difference.
Gatorade
Yeah.
thing.
I need a bartender who can go like this.
Exactly.
Yes.
Boop. Because yeah, you
Fast
need to
boop.
plan for the big
A
ass
fast
line.
boop
Yeah.
is all we need. Boop.
Yeah.
But yes, the third thing.
Yeah.
Yes, talk about music. Talk about the thing in the space. Like
Yeah.
it's a way of like being able to actually observe each other's friendship and interaction without having to like hold each other's hands and look
Yeah.
in each other's eyes.
Right, like slow down.
Slow
or
down.
Like you're in the deep end.
Yeah,
already.
yeah. Don't jump in the deep end.
Yeah, we're like having a Blue Lagoon moment here, you know?
Excuse me?
He
I
doesn't
don't
know
know.
what that means.
Uh,
No,
it doesn't
I-
matter.
Yeah.
Too deep.
Yeah.
Too old.
No, just to clarify, because I thought something that you would like. You're talking about new friend or existing friend?
Exist. I think more with new friends.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
more important with new friends. Existing friends, you kind of like with my existing friends, we can be quiet together. Like
Right.
there's
That's
enough
the
built
ultimate.
there. We can shut the fuck up and
the
just be in
ultimate.
the space together. You know?
Because Matt has, found a bunch of people, Instagram, Twitter, doing something we love, which is creating not an itinerary. What would you call the list of things to talk about when you're having a meeting? What's that called?
Oh, they came up with a checklist.
Like
Yeah.
an
These guys-
agenda.
yeah, they have
Agenda.
an agenda. Yeah,
Yeah.
we-
Agenda.
Yeah, we found these guys, these older guys. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty funny. They get together every Friday, these 70-year-old men, and they go to the bar and they actually have an agenda of topics they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That's pretty precious.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
It's like great. And then they're watching the game and then just like,
Right. You're watching the game. You're talking about the third thing.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
what do you feel about this thing
Yeah.
going on in the world? What do you think
Yeah.
about this?
Now, you don't want to go too far the other direction because, Matt, you want to talk about how sometimes you have conversations with your friends and you don't go deep enough, too shallow.
yeah,
Love
yeah,
this.
yeah. I was guilty of this years ago. We were laughing about how I would go home and my wife would be like, "Oh, how's Brian? How's his wife? How's his job? How's his kid? How's his dog?" I'm like, "Don't know, don't know, don't know, don't know." Didn't ask. You know, and you're like, "Oh man, I'm really not doing a good job." Like really getting anything out of
Yeah.
this.
I actually
hangout.
don't know how they are.
Like I don't know how my friend is, and we just spent 2 hours. I actually think a lot of guys do that.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah.
I think men are more habitually we do that more. We gravitate to that side,
Yeah.
which is just like, oh, we're all good and let's make
Yeah.
jokes and not actually have one moment where we
Yeah.
go like, hey man,
So
how
we're-
are you?
Totally. How are you? We're just impressing them on people. Don't forget to just say, how are you?
Yeah, and like really,
Yeah. What's
how
going
are
on
they?
with you?
Yeah, what's going on? You
So
good?
what's-
Your family
yeah,
okay?
you good,
like
right.
your job okay?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I found recently? This is a crazy thing.
Does it involve your 3-month-old son and your
It
wife?
could. It can always. I can always go that way
Yeah,
if you want me to. This is a new problem that I just discovered. Actually, I haven't even talked about it with Kira. A lot of men that I know have been laid off recently, and they're not telling their friends.
Oh, interesting.
I know
Whoa.
2 or actually, I know. This is a third person that I know that this happened to, and I'm just
Whoa.
like, wow, we have a real problem here.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
But how did you find out?
because
His
they're
wife.
yeah.
His
I
th-
don't
so
want
my,
to say it.
my 3-month-old
I don't
son
wanna say
said
it.
to
I
me,
don't wanna say
"Dada, Jimmy's laid off." And you're like, it's a miracle.
because it's through my wife they talk to each other.
Exactly. The
and,
wives
and the
actually
man
talk
always
about
tells
life.
his spouse, and then the spouse tells their friend.
Yeah.
So, buddy, it's getting out anyway.
I thought you were going to say he told his therapist. His therapist told your therapist. Ooh, we got it. Ooh, should we not talk about it on this pod? Save it for our pod?
No, I just think it's an interesting thing to bring up here and now.
Yeah.
Because it just happened, and I think it's
Man.
really something's going on where these men are so prideful or so ashamed, or they just have so much wrapped up in their career and identity that they don't feel they can even share that with their best.
Yeah,
friends.
wow. That is a problem.
Yeah.
That's what if you have the luxury of having truly close friendships
Yeah.
like that you've built over years, that's what they're for.
Totally. It's crazy.
That's what they're for, man, is that you guys can have those silly, fun,
Yeah.
fuck around shit on each other times, but when shit's going down, you actually have a homie that you can call and go, hey, man, this is going on and
Yeah.
it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
We should.
So we're, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say we have a sort of tip for those, people where we came up with like
Are we gonna have the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah.
from
Go ahead, go ahead.
our buddy
Yeah.
Baldoni?
No, no. Yeah, that one. No.
Yes.
I had a different one.
We have a friend of the pod, Justin Baldoni. He's also an actor.
I'm familiar with
yes.
Justin Baldoni.
And he talks about, I think he got like an actual high school degree, but I don't even know. Is that even a diss?
It's called a diploma.
Yeah, diploma.
High school degree.
Diploma.
But he talks about the cold plunge of friendship.
Okay.
Which is that when you're feeling just like you were describing, like, oh, I want to say something, I want to like talk to Matt, just out with it, blurt it out.
Yeah.
I got laid off. And
Yeah.
then you'll see once you get into the cold plunge,
Yeah.
it's much easier to stay in there.
Yeah.
It's getting
It's crossing that threshold. Yeah.
I like his, the one we came up with recently too. Sometimes you just don't know what to say. You don't want to say it. I find the phrase like "I'm in a funk"
oh yeah.
tells the friend everything they need to know about how to react. Like, hey,
So true.
let's get together, let's talk it out, and then you'll get that info out.
That's so true, actually.
Yeah.
That's such a clean way of describing a complicated situation,
Yeah.
but that everyone understands.
Yeah,
It's, hey, man, I'm in a funk. Can we hang out?
exactly.
Like, and truly, I can't say this enough to the listeners. Like, if you have 1 or 2 people even in your life who you feel like have your back with that stuff, that's the fucking joy of friendship.
Yeah.
Is that you have someone who's not your partner,
Yeah.
who's not your family member, your friend who you can call and say, I'm in a funk, man. Like, we have fun together, but also, can we like hang out? I'm messed up.
That's what you need, and you only need one. You know?
Literally. Yeah. You don't need that many.
Yeah,
You guys are blessed with 9. That's beautiful.
yeah. Ranked in order.
Ranked in order.
Yeah, ranked in
of
order.
value.
Of value. Yeah,
and
of
I am,
value.
disloyalty.
I am dropping
and-
very fast. I am dropping very fast.
I can't believe you rank them. That's fucking.
Listen, you have to be honest.
I
with
called
your
it
friends.
Yeah.
juvenile. Yeah.
I agree. That's
Yeah.
juvenile, Karo.
Listen, he knows where he stands.
It is true. It's good to know where you stand with your friends,
Yeah.
They're close but not best.
Yeah, no, I'm like you where like there's just a threshold that crosses in my heart with people where they just become I will call them like, oh, that's one of my best friends.
Yes.
But there is no best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just people who have crossed that
People have
inner
best
circle.
friends. Do you guys have best friends?
Yeah, like
Hey.
A1. No.
Aaron? There you go.
Oh,
Aaron, you have one best friend?
I do have one, but I have a few others.
Yeah.
After that, but there's
Oh, but you have one.
Yeah.
He's got a top dog.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Listen,
See,
people.
Aaron's,
To each his own, right?
Aaron's stick together.
Aaron's have
Yeah.
best
The
friends.
It's an Aaron thing.
Yeah.
It's an Aaron thing.
Yeah.
Aaron's keep
Because
ranked friendships.
Aaron's best friend was Moses, his brother.
Yeah.
Bible. This is Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? I didn't go to church
Yeah.
either.
It was.
Aaron was the one who
eighth grade.
played like the snake flute thing. Was that
I don't know
him?
what
Yeah.
are you talking about. This is not
Yeah.
inappropriate.
No, he turned a flute into a snake. Like he was like this. He was
God,
like
we're the worst
magician.
Jews ever. I don't
He
know.
was, like he was like a magician in the Bible. He was trying to scare the Pharaoh. And Moses was like, "Hey, Aaron, show him these tricks. Show him these party tricks to scare him."
No, I mean that is accurate for me. Yeah.
I think
All
that's
right.
what happened.
I'm kind of a clown.
Yeah, exactly. From the Bible, party
Yeah,
trick guy.
from the Bible.
You are a party trick guy.
I am a party trick guy.
You're like a charismatic look at me guy.
Totally.
Man,
Peacocking.
It's why we can't. It's why I can't make it into your inner circle because I'm a little like that.
Two peacocks. Oh boy.
let's talk about this.
Two peacocks. You know what they do? They fight to the
Yeah.
death.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I
Exactly.
actually think that you have the right mix. You have good potential.
Okay. Okay.
Because he is something that we both like, which is like you could bring him anywhere.
True.
Devon.
Yes.
True.
Like bring him to a party,
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, leave him
Yeah.
alone.
I'll be fine.
But like good dude,
Yeah.
always has a good story, has like funny backstory.
Piercing blue eyes. All of
Yeah.
it. He's a total.
Yeah, a
package.
little
Yeah,
Aryan.
soft
but-
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's very important.
But like you're not, I don't in our, we've only been friends for a few months, but
Yeah.
like I don't necessarily see you being super big, but maybe I don't know.
That's true. I'm a mix.
Yeah,
I'm big
you're-
when I want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
when Karo's puffing up.
Yeah. When
He's
Kara's
puffing
puffing up, no, I can puff down.
Oh, you'll
Yeah,
puff
yeah,
down.
yeah.
And
Oh,
also,
good.
I'm not. I can be as wired as you, but I'm
Yeah.
also like I'm pretty chill.
Okay. See, no one has ever said, "Oh, Karo, he's pretty chill."
No,
Right,
no,
no.
no, no. When I met you, I was like, this guy's not chill.
This man has no chill.
Yeah. No, I was like,
Yeah.
I really like this guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got no chill.
Yeah.
I was like, he must be from New York.
Yeah. You're right.
Correct.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Correct.
Very accurate. We size each other up, and here we are.
But we assessed.
yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Puff down a little bit, but you're good.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So kind of last thing is, so you still make new friendships, right?
Yeah. Dad friends now to replace.
Oh yeah, they gotta
replace
have
Karo.
kids.
I
like,
gotta
never
replace
too- oh,
Karo.
sorry.
I replaced. He's a renter. I'm trying to find homeowners.
Oh, why?
and
That's
out with the old and with the
significant.
new. Yeah.
The beautiful pool
I'm
house.
just
That's great.
upgrading.
Come on
I'm
over.
just upgrading my life.
Got it.
Friend wise, yeah.
Got it.
We should just mention, just on the new friend, it's never too late.
Never
Yeah,
too late
never
to
too
make a
late.
new friend.
Well, also we talk about this. We did an episode where like, hey, you get older, some of your friends start dying. Not even that old. Like I've had friends pass away. Like
Yeah, die or move away
Yeah.
or literally just
Yeah.
life.
If they move away, they're
He's
dead.
trying to. He's trying to change it. He goes, die or move away.
no,
you know.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
chill, bro. Chill.
Yeah.
But it is true.
How old are you?
Yeah, old enough to have dead friends.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
And that's our podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Growing up.
But yeah, it's never, I have found that it is never too late for new friendships, man. You just want to feel that you have some kind of overlap. For me, it's like an energy thing. It's like woo-woo, but it's just like an intuitive energy thing. Like, oh, I like this person. Like, I like our interaction. I like them. I could see myself hanging out with them more. You feel that little instinct? What has to happen then is the thing you talk about, which is not we should, but when you communicate that you want to hang out, actually make plans. Yeah. I made a new friend recently, like Storm, you know who you are. He reached out, he's a photographer, so we worked together just to do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, he like said it, I loved it. He was like, I'd like to be friends with you. And I was like,
We should be friends. Yeah.
I was
I
like,
love this.
huh. And then I said, okay. And I didn't say it that time. I
Yeah.
left that experience. I said, this was great. I'll talk to you. And then I hit him up a week later and said, yo, when are you free? Let's hang out. And then we started a friendship.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be friends with a Storm.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
Too
work.
Hollywood?
It doesn't work for me.
What is it? Too
I don't know if
Hollywood?
it's Hollywood. It's just,
Is it too hippie?
it's just
Is it
not.
too hippie?
It just
I
doesn't-
have a Stormy friend. Yeah. I
No,
have
you
one.
don't.
Yes, I do.
Stormy Daniels is your friend?
That would be cool. No,
Yeah.
no, not that Stormy.
Okay.
A man.
You have a guy named Stormy?
Yes.
His name is Stormy.
Yes.
Is it his friend?
No, different one.
Is
He's
he
not a
born
photographer.
Stormy?
He's a hedge fund guy.
There's a hedge
Connecticut,
fund
yeah.
guy named
It's more
Stormy.
of a like Connecticut thing. There's like hippies and then there's like super wealthy.
With a Y or an IE?
I think it's probably his nickname. His
Gotta be a
real name
Y.
is probably like Steven. And then like,
Oh, no.
in childhood, he was nicknamed Stormy.
Okay, Storm's actual name is Storm.
Yeah, no, I think the Connecticut
parents.
ones are.
I'm sorry for the storm slander that's going on.
Yeah,
right now.
he's a great dude. Fuck you, Karo.
Yeah, no,
Hey, don't talk about my friend like that, you bitch.
I think.
What are you? What, you're that loyal to him?
yeah.
Yes. I think the hippies, they're born named Stormy. The Greenwich guys, their names are like Steven and they're
Yeah,
called Stormy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Then they have to rebel against their parents
Yeah,
with like a
exactly.
cool hippie
Yeah.
name.
Exactly.
One other thing you're talking about making new friends for your listeners. Something we've been talking about a lot because Matt was saying you're not going out and trying to literally
Yes.
try to.
You're not trying to do this to
Yeah,
a friend.
Yeah, you're not trying to just
Yeah.
go
You're
out
trying
and
to-
make new friends.
Make
You're
new
not trying
friends.
to
You're not
just
trying to make new
go
friends.
make
Yeah.
new friends.
But we say like if you are someone who's looking for friends or is lonely, do what you are passionate about. We
is
say
great
passion
advice.
first, friends second. You don't, if you love playing basketball or you like politics, just go do what you would do on your own anyway, because you are your best self when you're doing what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And then you bump into people and it happens
So
naturally.
true.
Don't try too hard.
I love that. In the summer, I live on the west side of LA, and last summer we started playing beach volleyball on the weekends, and I'd never played, and I've made new friends at beach volleyball.
So that's
'cause
completely not what I said at all. Not
I'm
inaccurate.
Hold on.
Okay.
I've become.
Matt's gonna get mad at me.
Hold on, you
No,
son of a bitch!
I want to hear
Hold
it
on.
out.
I've become passionate about it. Like I really,
Yes.
it's my favorite way to spend my
Yes,
Sunday
yes.
now.
But that's
Like,
not what I was saying.
No, it is.
it is.
No.
He's
You're
saying that
saying do something that
That
you
you're already
like.
passionate about.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
If
yeah.
you want to make that distinction.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
different, Matt.
No, I think it is different. I think he learned that he really enjoys
Yes.
it.
but
Yes.
that's what I'm saying is it's become something that I love doing.
Absolutely.
It.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to spend a Sunday. I'm
Yeah.
going for me.
Right.
And then through that, now all of a sudden, like there's some people where I'm like, oh, yo, and we see each other every Sunday and now we're friends.
I think Karo was basically just trying to say, if you're not a sports guy,
Right.
Yeah.
don't go to the sports bar
Right.
and try
Yeah.
to be buddies and watch sports ball. if
And that's
not
what I'm
your
saying.
thing.
Me being outside on the beach playing sports is actually something that
Right.
I enjoy, even though it was never beach
Doesn't
volleyball.
really look like it. I don't know why I'm just. I don't know what this is coming from.
It's because we're new
Two
friends.
peacocks.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
No, I literally, this is one of my love languages, so I love it.
Okay, great.
Truly.
I think he looks good. To be
Oh,
honest,
shut the fuck up, Matt. What a brown
I mean,
noser.
look at his arm. No, he rolled up those sleeves for a
I know.
reason.
I
He
have
was
noticed the
supposed
shirt. I
he
do
wanted
like
you
the
to-
shirt.
He wanted you
I
to
do like the
notice.
shirt. Where's the shirt from?
I'm not
They don't
telling
come
you.
rolled up like
I'm
that.
not telling you. No, you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how
I'm
to
not
roll.
covering these arms. You know what I mean?
I know how to roll up a sleeve.
I gotta pull 'em
That's
out.
gonna give me a real dressing down in the car.
No
ride home.
way.
Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean?
No.
to
You're
me?
mean to me, so this
No,
is better.
literally, it's one of
Deflect it.
no, especially with new people in my life. It's truly one of my favorite things. Is let's make sure we can shit on each
Yeah,
other.
because Matt, what do you think?
'Cause then I know we're safe.
kind of testing sort of raptor style.
Yeah.
the
He
He
fence.
fits in. He's good.
If either of us were to get offended, we'd be like, this is not for
Yeah.
us.
He's
Exactly.
good.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
good.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good. I mean, you can't get into the Luger's crew, but you could be in the other.
Yeah. People are always like, can we be part of the
And
crew?
a lot of
No.
people, like, it's crazy when people actually. I think sometimes people are serious about it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No.
like, that's
your
insane.
friendship from second grade,
Yeah.
like no one's getting in
Nobody's
that.
ever
Jason,
getting
no
in.
one's
Jason
getting
Bateman
into
can
that.
come in.
Bateman,
All right.
well, my
Well,
godfather.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the godfather of his child.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. I love talking about friendship with you. Your guys' pod is amazing. The tradition you're keeping alive is so fun. I love that a part of it too is shitting on each other, but also literally you are voting man of the year. You're actually acknowledging each other for who's doing well and for accomplishments and actually voicing it to each other. That's a beautiful kind of support system to have in life, is like being able to be like, yeah, like my friends are doing good and we're going to lift each other up and lift each other up through the fucking bad moments too.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, look at that. Even though you're second best.
Love you, man.
Hey, love you, Matt.
We'll see.
Love you, Karo.
Oh,
Even though you're second best, that's
Yeah.
still high, you know?
It's pretty high.
That's a silver. You're on the podium.
Like Karo would rather be bronze than
Silver's
silver,
the
but
worst
that's a
medal.
whole story
Silver's the
for
worst
another
medal.
time.
You don't
Okay, I
want
can't
silver.
even.
Everyone knows
I
silver's
know
the
too
worst
much
medal.
about this guy.
Silver's the worst medal. Because you could have won gold. Bronze, you almost got nothing. It's a fact. It's a proven fact. If Google it. Thank you. You didn't Google it. But if you Google it, there's a study.
I would prefer the silver.
Yeah.
I would love to be your therapist.
That's good.
This pod is already, you guys have given a ton of like great tips on friendship, but I do like to end an episode with one little nugget, maybe from each of you. Yeah, for our listeners who feel isolated, who feel like they don't have close friendships. Like, what's the move? What should they do?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people get stuck in this thing of like, I'm thinking about this person. I hope I see them. If you're thinking about somebody, text them, call them. The second they pop into your head, text them or call them. That's it.
Love it. Simple.
And I would say that you're not alone. A lot of people are feeling that. And even me and Matt, who have many friends, we have moments of loneliness.
For sure.
Moments, I was telling Matt the other day, I was at the bar by myself. It's like, I'm just not going to talk to anybody and go home.
Yeah.
And follow my own advice.
Yeah, I get that too. It's like I'm surrounded by people and have great, close, intimate friendships, and of course, still feel alone. That's part of this life too. But friends do make it better.
That's right.
I will say, having close friendships is a beautiful thing, and you got to value them. I want to leave them with a tip as well, which is like, maybe you really don't have anyone. Maybe there actually is already the space for a friendship. You might have someone in your past or in your life that you just haven't watered it. You just haven't nurtured it. There might be an old friend from fucking middle school that you could actually call and at least have a friend that you check in with every couple months. That actually is a very nourishing thing for you. You just got to not isolate yourself. Like reach out to that person. Cool. Where can people find you?
Man of the Year on every platform.
Yep.
I
Instagram,
think.
Man of the Year podcast, TikTok, Man of the Year podcast, and we're linked on that too. But
Amazing.
Man of the
Yeah,
Year podcast.
we'll put everything in the show notes too. So great to have you guys on.
Thank you.
We'll do this again sometime.
Oh, wait. So we are or we should?
No, we will do
We
this.
will. Oh,
Okay.
there
So
we
should
go.
we put us on the
Some
calendar
time.
or we're just kind of?
No, this is a general one.
Okay, got it.
But it's a real one.
Got it.
Friendship needs more discussion, so we'll find another topic, okay?
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
for having us.
Thanks, guys. So much fun.
That was awesome.